years later, in a new building towards the lower end of Queen Street, its only North Island rivals were Smith & Coe's, unfortunately also located in Queen Street, and possibly Kirkcaldy and Staines in Wellington. After Horace died in 1922, Isabel was free to run Dunbar & Jones completely unfettered. She began to import a selection of very fine furniture, china, silver and crystal from England and Europe, linens and tweeds from Ireland, Belgian lace, oriental silks, cosmetics from America, men's and women's clothing from Paris and London, and a line of luxury continental chocolates and condiments. She also purchased the buildings on either side of Dunbar & Jones and added another 2 floors to the lot. This gave her 2 cavernous basements for storage, 3 floors of retail space across 3 buildings, and a large uppermost floor to accommodate administrative offices, as well as dressmaking, tailoring, millinery and soft furnishings workrooms, and a staff cafeteria. Beneath the gleaming panelling and new paint, however, many of the interior walls were little more than flimsy match lining, and the various stairwells and narrow behind-the-scenes passageways created a rabbit warren in which even long-time staff could become disoriented. But the buildings were essentially sound, and Dunbar & Jones continued to present the elegant, sometimes almost magical environment to which its customers had become accustomed. When Isabel died in 1928, the business went to her eldest stepson, Charles, and his younger brother, James. To celebrate, Charles went out and purchased a brand-new Stutz Vertical 8 motorcar, which mildly annoyed James and turned Charles's friends green with envy. 2 weeks later, however, Charles killed himself in the car on the way to the Ellerslie races, leaving James the sole owner of Dunbar & Jones. Under James's management, the store continued to prosper. He enlarged the first-floor tea room, redecorated it in white with gold accents, and rechristened it the White Room. The dinner menu was extensive, and the morning and afternoon tea selections were said to be the finest in the city. A tiny salmon sandwich, a miniature brandy snap filled with chantilly cream, and a steaming cup of fragrant imported tea were just the thing to round out a day's shopping. When James died in 1950, the business passed to his eldest son, Maxwell, who soon decided that Dunbar & Jones was becoming a tad old-fashioned and set about modernising the interior. He replaced the rather antiquated lambs and wire cash delivery system with a pneumatic one that made satisfying whooshing sounds as the capsules whizzed through a maze of shiny brass tubes around the store. And a year later, he installed Auckland's first escalator, a novel device that would be sure to attract even more customers. He left the stately brass-caged lifts at the rear of the store, however, aware that his more staid customers might be uncomfortable with the moderate level of agility needed to ride an escalator. He also altered the layout of the store, allocating to the ground floor departments for tableware, china, glass and silver, linens and Manchester, gifts, menswear, boyswear and school uniforms, men's shoes and hats, and women's accessories, cosmetics and jewellery. The first floor housed, as well as the White Room, ladies' fashions, shoes, hats and lingerie, dress fabrics and patterns, mother-to-be and young miss, and children's and infants' wear, while the second floor was dedicated wholly to furniture, flooring and soft furnishings. The third floor's administrative offices, staff cafeteria and workrooms remained unchanged. And because customer service was still of paramount importance at Dunbar & Jones, the personnel department took on more staff, including 4 girls, Ali Roberts, Louise Taylor, Daisy Farr, and Irene Baxter. This story is about them. Part 1. 7 Days. Chapter 1.